Welcome to Shakespeare's Coffee Break, the daily show discussing all that is best in life over coffee. Welcome back, friends. I am your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and I have my coffee. Let's have a nice noisy slurp. Let's just be obnoxious with this. Come on. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Drinking my nice, good, generic, non-name brand coffee today. Music today, of course, is by the Jackdaws. They supply Shakespeare proofs of this theme song, and we thank them for that. And I do hope that you are enjoying your day wherever you are in the world. That was a really awkward cutoff of the music, though. Try to do better next time. But we have a wonderful show here today. I have with me here on the coffee break the co-founder and artistic director of a wonderful theater in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the co-founder and artistic director of Gamut Theatre Group. Gamut Theatre Group is a combination of the Harrisburg Shakespeare Company, Popcorn Hat Players, TMI Improv, and they do so much more. Lords, ladies, non-binary friends, gentles, all please welcome the lovely and talented Mr. Clark Nicholson. Oh my God, look at that crazy head of hair he has going on. It's too sexy.
No, stop it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Clark Nicholson. It has been a dog's age since I have seen you face to face.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's what. If I can, before we get into it, your company was actually my very first exposure to professional Shakespeare in Pennsylvania when I was a high school student.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Back in, I want to say 98 or 99, you all were doing, I think you were doing, Shakespeare in the Park at Reservoir Park.
Mm-hmm.
And my class, we went to go see a show there. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember loving it and being enthralled. So you are in part responsible for me being an idiot with an English accent here today.
Oh,
so
that's wonderful.
I need to throw that on you.
That's terrific, man. That's terrific.
So you have the Gamut Theatre, and everybody can go find out more about you at facebook.com/Gamut Theatre, or go to gamuttheatre.org. And over there, friends, you can make a donation to the theatre to help keep the lights on right now, because ticket sales aren't what they used to be as they were 3 months ago. But so what is your history with Shakespeare?
Well, you know, I really got into Shakespeare when I was in high school. I loved Hamlet quite a bit. My English teacher, Ms. Herlong, rolled the TV in and put in an old style giant videotape like they used to have. And we watched Derek Jacobi in the BBC Plays version of all the Shakespeare plays. And she was just going to show us some scenes, but I just really was fascinated by it. So when they took the TV and the VCR back to the library, I went down and asked the librarian, Miss Caldwell, if I could come in after school each day for a couple of days and watch all of it. And I did, and I loved it. And so I worked up a dramatic interpretation piece from it where I played Hamlet, Horatio, and the gravedigger in the graveyard scene. It was the first thing I did with Shakespeare. And I knew I loved Hamlet. I didn't know if I loved all of Shakespeare. I knew I loved Hamlet. And I also loved Saturday Night Live. It was a thing that was real big on TV at that time. And so I wanted to do something in the future that had something to do with Shakespeare and with improv-based comedy. And I get to do it now with Gamut because we have an improv troupe as well.
Wonderful, yes. And how do you find all of these disparate threads working together? Improvisational theater, children's theater, Shakespeare. How do they mesh together? And do they?
Yeah, they do. A lot of times, what we say is we're the theater, the classic story, and we try to keep alive those things that we don't want to forget. And even when we're improvising stories, a lot of times we go to classical suggestions and see what we come up with there. So, but we named it Gamut because Gamut is, of course, the musical scale, and it's a Shakespearean quote. It's from Taming of the Shrew, where the line is gamut I am the root of all accord, which means every note on the scale, and each different part of gamut is a different note on that scale.
And you certainly also run the gamut of just different types of theatre.
I named it that so I could say I run the gamut, because I do.
Wonderful. And so you all have been around since what? The early 90s?
1992.
92. Wonderful. And that it's a co-foundation between you and your amazing spouse, Melissa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great. I think she's in the other room doing the books right now. So,
business director, as one does.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you always got to have a good one.
So, especially in this time right now, where theaters, we are running dark. We can't go out and have a festival or theatrical performances on a main stage, at least with an audience there, due to medical and safety concerns right now. How is Shakespeare or other classical theater relevant to this period in time?
Well, I think that we are fortunate that when this came down and we had to quarantine, we live in a time where we have such technology that there is a plethora of content. So if you want to see filmed content, you don't have to go far. There's literally years and years of it online. So if you know, and you can see there's lots of theater companies that are doing live readings and things like that. I'm not doing that with Shakespeare per se, just because I find the separation of the screen, especially in something where you're doing direct address,
Mm-hmm.
I find it to be another step away from that immediacy, and so for me it's kind of painful. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody that does it, but it's so close to what it ought to be, but not that.
Yes.
That I really want to be in a room with people and do it. And there's some wonderful filmed Shakespeare, but for me, I want to hear it in the air with somebody in front of me, getting reaction from them, and no fourth wall. And so I'm holding that close to my heart. There's a lot of Shakespeare adjacent material that we're touching on during this time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to getting back on stage and really doing direct address. You know, to be or not to be, that is the question. Really asking the question to the person right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and there's something to be said for hearing that resonated vocal note from the person right there, not an electronic version, not amplified by a sound system as so often the need, or separated by this digital connector, which is great and it's wonderful, but
it's amazing, yeah.
But there are lags, anything from just a little 1.5 second lag to a 45 second lag. For instance, this show streaming over to Facebook is being delayed sometime between 20 and 45 seconds from when we are saying the words to when they're hearing them.
So it's like a time machine.
It really is. Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll bring it up on my phone to just respond to people in the notes, and it's just like, wait, what am I saying? What did I do? but for performing with other actors, it has its own challenges, and so my instructions to my actors, having done a few live, not just live readings, but as close to a full-on live performance as we can make for our shows that we're doing via Zoom, is jump on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's always a good watchword for this material anyway. You know?
It really is, because otherwise it doesn't drag.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. But and also I would say the immediacy of, there's something about actual eyes looking into other eyes and not eyes looking at you. Think I'm talking to you right now, but I might be looking at my email. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's also fun because for how these systems are set up, it's not Star Trek just yet. It's close. It's so close to Star Trek. But it's not Star Trek just yet, because when I want to make eye contact with you, I feel like I'm making eye contact with you, but I actually have to look at the camera and not at you at all.
Right.
So I can be like, oh, hey, look deeply into my soulful eyes, but I'm just staring at a little black dot on a screen with a green light next to it, letting me know it's on. Whereas I'm looking at you, then, yeah, you have no idea if I'm reading something or whatever. So I find when I do a standard Zoom meeting with my specs on, and if I manage to get the glare just right, you can't tell where I'm looking at all.
Oh yeah, I do that too. It's like, it's really weird. I like Mr. Moto.
Yeah, just like I want to have it just right, so you can't quite tell where I'm looking, and so thus, is he looking at me? Is he not? I have no idea. But, but for the immediacy factor, I absolutely appreciate that. Just for performing my standard show that I do, Renaissance festivals and libraries and small theaters. It's so audience interactive. It's not even just I want the immediacy of the connection with the audience. It's I need you to physically understand what I am saying because I'm about to tell you to do something. And missing out on that is so different. And people's comments can come up on the screen when I'm doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
And I can respond to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work nearly as well.
Yeah, I mean back in the dude's time, who you're the dude, but back in the late 1500s, early 1600s, the one fortunate thing is when they had to go into quarantine or anything like that, they really didn't have to go into quarantine. What they did was they went to another town. Yeah,
you hit the road.
Yeah, he went to Bath. If you know the town of Bath, the Lord Chamberlain's men would go to Bath, and there was a small inn theater there, and they would just do shows there till things cleared up in London, and they'd come back. And Bath's such a beautiful town, man. I'd do anything to be in Bath right now.
Seriously, it's like, oh hey, plague's happening. Go to Bath? Yeah, let's go to Bath. Yeah. I mean, I would just start a rumor. I'm just like, hey, no, it's just like, oh yeah, Master of the Rebels is being a little bit prickish to us. Start a rumor about plague. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna go to Bath. Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to the road trip.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's put a pin in it right there for a moment because I have to go over and pay some bills. So we're talking with Clark Nicholson of the Gamut Theatre. You can go and check them out at gamuttheatre.org, and we'll be back with Clark in just a moment here on Shakespeare's Coffee Break. But friends, Shakespeare's Coffee Break is brought to you today by Hill Storage and Rigging Company. Hill Storage and Rigging Company located in Middletown, Pennsylvania. No job too large or too small. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing your equipment is in skilled and experienced hands with services from our machine movers and erectors in Middletown, PA. Established in 1967, Hill Storage and Rigging Company is a family-owned and operated full-service millwright serving industries in the Mid-Atlantic states and beyond. We are a women-owned small business. Hours of operation on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Available Saturdays and Sundays by appointment only. Call at 717-944-7676. That number again, 717-944-7676. And go to hillrigging.com. Special thanks to Hill Rigging for sponsoring today's show. And if you would like to become a sponsor of Shakespeare's Coffee Break, simply send me an email to shakespeare@shakespeareapproves.com. That again is shakespeare@shakespeareapproves.com. And I'll advertise this stuff. If you want me to advertise vitamins for you, I'll do it. Hopefully they're not fake vitamins, because that would be weird and potentially illegal. And I cannot go back to prison for you. Not for you. Maybe for Clark, but not for you. All right. But speaking of Clark, let's bring him back in.
Many have.
Many have gone to prison for you. Clark, what are you doing to people? What do you have over people? What power?
Well, actors, you have to do what you can to make a little extra money. I mean,
that's true. It's just like, all right, I need to pay my gas bill this month. You need me to go bury a body? I'll bury a body. That's fine.
Yeah. A lot of those guys, the ones that were working the rigging and things like that, they worked on ships.
Yes,
right there in the Thames, and they worked on ships, and they would come in and they would do things, and that's why it's bad luck to whistle in a theater, because that's how they would signal one another to drop a sandbag or something like that. So if you're backstage whistling, you might get a sandbag dropped on your head.
Just asking for death.
Yeah.
See, that is a far more pragmatic theatrical superstition. That and the ghost light.
Right.
then some of the other ones, like don't say the name of the Scottish play, call it the Scottish play. And it basically just turns Macbeth into Voldemort for me. I mean, it's just the play that shall not be named. I mean, so do you respect that particular superstition, or do you
I don't. I don't. I'm not afraid of it. If somebody says Mac around me, I'm cool with it. However, I've worked with a lot of people who do take it pretty seriously, and lifelong career people, and so I don't do it. I say the Scottish play around them because I don't want to feel like I'm, hawking a loogie in their cornflakes. You know what I mean? I want to be respectful.
Yeah. Since I primarily work not so much in theaters, but at Renaissance festivals, and when I announced the name of the play, hey, Macbeth, Death by Fluffy Kittens is coming up in 20 minutes over here at the Globe. And sometimes people will get on my case. It's just like, seriously, you're going to yell at Shakespeare about saying the name of a play he wrote?
Yeah,
really?
You're in performance. You're in performance mode at that point.
Exactly.
So, it's fine.
And then, and for me, since that performance tends to go no less than 6 hours from start of a festival day to the end of the festival day, it's like, I can say whatever I want.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
So, what is your favorite aspect of maybe owning a theater, or at least being a theatrical professional for you, as far as I know, your entire adult life? What's your favorite part of doing this?
Well, I've gotten to work with just unbelievable talents of many different stripes over the years. Put together shows that I on my own I don't think I would have been able to do. It was just the collaborative nature that I've met some unbelievable individuals, and also I've gotten to play tons of great roles. I've gotten to direct a lot of great roles. I mean, when I was a young actor right out of college, I did sort of the TV thing for a little bit, and I did the movie thing for a little bit, and small roles, and you were happy to get them, and you felt real good if you got a couple a year. But in the end, I was like, man, I mean, I still say if someone came up to me and said, hey, you want to be in the movies? I'll give you Daniel Day-Lewis's career. I'd say, oh yeah, sure. Let's
yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, I've just been able to do an incredible amount of stuff. I mean, I've done 32 of Shakespeare's plays, many of them many times. I've done a lot of other classics, and I've gotten to play. I love that. I mean, whether I did it well or not well or whatever, I got to play Atticus Finch and Hamlet, and I got to play the Player King and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead, and there's tons of stuff. I just finished up playing Dr. Stockman in Henrik Ibsen's An Enemy of the People, which I don't know if you know that play, but we didn't.
I had to read it years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was where you're screaming to people that something has to be shut down because there's a public health crisis, and everybody gets really upset because you're trying to shut it down, and there's a mob action, and because people don't want to be controlled like that. And so to be in the midst of that, we did 2 weeks. We had 1 week left, and we were shut down. Well, I shut it down mainly because all the theaters were about to shut down. So I said, let's do it, and also because what was going on with COVID and everything, I was like, there's no way I can stand on stage and say these words,
yes,
to a bunch of people who might be in some way at risk, because these words are about people being put at risk.
So did you, going back to the idea of having the immediacy of the audience there, did you record a performance so that you could then put it up on your website or the Facebook page?
No, we didn't record a performance. We did record. We had a professional recording of one scene because we have to do that for grant proposals every year. So we did that, but no, we didn't record a performance, mainly because it was Arthur Miller's translation, and so it's under copyright, and so recording it has. Other than doing small snippets for like grants and things like that, it's very, you can't do it.
Yeah, it just seemed like it would have been I mean, obviously, it was a very ironically timely piece that you were doing, but a great thing to then just throw on the website for a week or two of just saying, "Hey, here's the final week of the run."
Yeah, no, it was it would have been nice to do. Well, we originally decided to do it just because that phrase, that pejorative phrase, has been thrown around by our great leader for the past 3 years, referring to the press.
Yeah.
And so we thought it was very timely for that reason. We did not realize when we started that it was going to be timely because of the public health issue.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Ah, goodness, what times we live in. I suppose we are living out the Chinese curse at the moment.
Right.
The Chinese fortune cookie curse.
Yeah.
We live in interesting times.
Yep.
Well, Clark, you and Melissa and everyone over there at Gamut are just doing amazing work, and I encourage everybody to please go like them on Facebook, facebook.com/Gamut Theatre. Go to gamuttheatre.org. Donate if you can. I know for many of us, money is a bit thin at this moment, but if you have any cash that is burning a hole in your pocket, please go do so. They do
that unless I want to say this. Do that unless you know some frontline workers who you can help out or anything like that. Theater is important, but right now it's not the most important thing. You know what I mean? I don't want my theater to fall through.
Yes.
But as much as I say, is theater essential? It's not right now. It will be again, and we'll be here for you. But we've got to get through some stuff right now.
That is very well put. Very well put. One of the organizations I am liking right now to donate to in lieu of us, I have a link right here, minnesotafreedomfund.org. They're a great institution right now. Go donate to them if you can. I like your money. Clark likes your money. But there are some who need a little bit more than us. Your next show coming up is TMI Improv. When is that going to be happening?
Well, there was supposed to be one tomorrow night, but we canceled it off because of events this week. It just did not seem like the most timely occurrence to be silly in front of people. We'll be silly in a couple of weeks. We're going to have another show in a couple of weeks. And TMI is a lot of fun. If you haven't seen a TMI show, come on out. We do long form and short form comedy, and we have a lot of fun. We've been improvising together for about 12 years now.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. Well, Clark Nicholson of Gamut Theatre, thank you for coming on, sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar, and at some point we're going to have to pull you on here just to start arguing authorship questions, and I can also use my favorite hashtag suck it Derek Jacobi. All right.
Oh yeah, I'm with you, man. I love Derek Jacobi. Derek Jacobi is my favorite Shakespearean actor, and he is wrong. And he is
Yes, he is. And see, in that case, it would just be us agreeing with each other for half an hour. So we need to get someone else on here to argue against us then. All right. Yeah. Thank you so very much. Friends, this has been Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I am your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and this has been my coffee break. Our guest today was the amazing and talented Clark Nicholson of the Gamut Theatre Group. You can go learn more about them by going to gamuttheatre.org and facebook.com/Gamut Theatre. And I am going to be doing something a little silly tonight. As many of you know, we've been asked to not delay A Midsummer Night's Dream, A Gay Old Time, tonight at 7:05 on facebook.com/Shakespeare Approves and youtube.com/C/Shakespeare Approves. Those links are in the show description today. We are employing professional actors, otherwise unemployed, by theatre and Renaissance festivals. So come on out and check out some of your favorite performers, including Daniel Greenwolf, Molly Thomas from The Vixens on Guard, Christina Koya from Chaste Treasure, and Aaron Bernardi and David Makowski from the band Drunk and Disorderly. And of course, your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. And that'll be at 7:05 tonight. Tomorrow we're going to be doing Talking Trek at 6:30 p.m. Come and listen to Brian and I talk some Trek and, just live long and prosper constantly. Speaking of, I got this from a wonderful fan. Just came in the mail today. My Star Trek issue PPE. So this is amazing. So I love that. So that is wonderful. But friends, thank you very much for being here with me today. Ordinarily, this is the time of the show, I would say, if you've liked it half as much as I've enjoyed performing it, I've obviously enjoyed it twice as much as you have, and that's called math. And so throw money into my tip jar. I'm not asking you to throw money into my tip jar today. I am asking you to please donate to Midsummer Night's Stream Gale Time, the Indiegogo campaign for that. You can get to that through my Facebook page, facebook.com/Shakespeare Proves, but also donate to the MinnesotaFreedomFund.org. Thanks very much, friends. I love you. You love me. There is mutual glorious affection. We are going to get through all of this together. So just stay safe, stay strong, and remember, fascism is not going to take control. And Black Lives Matter. Those are words that just sound like words, but Black Lives Matter because every life matters. And no life matters until the Black lives do. Because we cannot put aside one segment of our populace saying, you don't count. If I lose fans, so be it. I don't see that being a controversial statement, though. Secondly, vote. Pennsylvania's primary just happened. New York's primary is coming up on June 24th. Vote. Do it. I love you. You love me. Mutual glorious affection. We'll see you tonight at 7:05. Bye-bye.